Good morning. I understand you're applying for the title search position here at the firm.
Yes, my name is Laura Sanchez, and I heard about it in the local paper.
I don't see any prior experience in title searching here on your resume.
To be honest, I don't have any, but I am a quick study and a good worker.
Well, we can try it out for a week or two and see what develops. Would you like to hear what a title searcher does before you take the job? You might not like it.
Yes, if you could please tell me about it.
Okay. A title examination is a legal opinion about the marketability of a title in a real estate deal. There are a bunch of states, including ours, that say lawyers can give legal opinions about real estate sold. If the attorney says the title is free and clear, then the sale can go through. If the attorney says there's a problem with the record, then the client pays he or she to clean it up.
Well, I know about deeds, and I have a pretty good idea about what it means to sell real estate, but I don't know who our firm works for in a title search.
Good question. We work for the buyers. One of the conditions of the sale that the buyer puts into the contract is the title to the property can't have any legal problems. Now, there are all kinds of potential legal problems. There could be liens against the property for things the owner hasn't paid. There could be tax liens by the state and federal government. There could be other problems related to previous transactions or ownership interests held by others. Actually, there's a ton of potential problems.
Can we clear those up?
Yes, but first we have to find them. Here's how it works. The buyer contacts us and says they'd like to have a title search. Now, I'm going to skip over the subject of title insurance right now, and we'll just focus on how you do a title search. What you do is you build a picture of the property, who's owned it, and what they did with it while they own it. In a way, it's a bit like detective work. At least that's the way I look at it. You can learn a lot about the property and the people involved when you do a title search.
Where do you actually do it?
All this stuff is public record. So when you do a search, you go to the Register of Deeds office, sometimes called the land office, or just the deeds room. That's where everyone goes to file deeds when they buy property. So you go to the deeds room and you list the current owner. You find out when he's bought the property and who he bought it from. You actually create a chain of title, listing every owner who's owned the property back 40 years.
Why so far back?
Well, sometimes we go back even further than that. The reason that we do is because we want to find every possible legal problem that could affect the property. If something hasn't come up in 40 years, chances are it's not going to come up at all. So, step one is to create the chain of title. But that's just the beginning. Remember when I told you we try to figure out what each owner did with the property while they own it? Once you've created the chain of ownership, you go back through the record and check the time period each owner had the property to see if they did anything unusual with it.
And what counts as unusual?
That's a big category. What we're really checking for is to see if the owner conveyed any interest to someone else, has a lien on the property, or any dozens of things that can happen to somebody who owns real estate. We check the record to find this out.
And that's it?
Step one is called chain of title. The second step is called checking the outs. At least, that's what we call it around here. I'm sure it's called other things in different places. What we're doing is checking to see what the owner did with the property while he had it. We check the deed room and the clerk's office to find this out.
I've been to the clerk's office a few times. That's where they store records of civil and criminal cases. So why should we go there for a title search?
Well, as you said, that's where the civil records are. If one of the owners was sued and a judgment was made against the land, that's where it would show up.
And once we do all this, if we find any more problems, we also clear those up too?
That's it in a nutshell. So, what do you think? Is title searching something you'd be interested in?
I don't suppose you have any other job openings.